John Adams' fourth annual message to Congress. On November 11, 1800, John Adams gave his fourth annual message to Congress. In his fourth and would end up being his last year as president, Adams addressed how successful he feels his run as president has been. He applauded the nation's ability to adjust to a new capital. Adams was happy with the easy transition from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. Adams spoke of how pleased he was to have the capital here, and how he believed that now their country can flourish. He saw a bright future for the United States and the new capital as a new step for the nation's success. He said to the people that, "You will consider it as a capital of a great nation, advancing with unexampled rapidity in arts, in commerce, in wealth, and in population, and possessing within itself those energies and resources which, if not thrown away or lamentably misdirected, will secure to it a long course of prosperity and self-government." Adams felt this new capital would grow in population and wealth, and was the perfect place. He saw a future in it, and with it a new start for the nation. He also discussed the United States foreign affairs in his address. He spoke of how he was able to allow the officers and soldiers of the army to be discharged. This shows how Adams felt he was successful in keeping the nation safe and avoiding conflict. Adams spoke of building a stronger army and navy in the United States. Adams said, "We cannot, without committing a dangerous imprudence, abandon those measures of self-protection which are adapted to our situation, and to which, notwithstanding our pacific policy, the violence and injustices of others may again compel us to resort." He was saying that protection was as necessary as ever, and even though they had been safe, they need to be prepared to protect themselves. Adams spoke of how important he felt safety and security were, and how the only way to establish that was through a strong military. Adams wanted to will Congress into putting more power into the military through this message. He also spoke about the economy in his address. He said, "I observe with much satisfaction that the product of the revenue during the present year has been more considerable than during any former equal period." Adams was speaking of the economic success the nation had had in the last year, and how he is proud of that. He was sending a message to Congress saying how the nation's credit has improved during his presidency. 1800 would end up being Adams' last year as president. After his loss in the election of 1800, Adams would retire from politics and retreat to his family home in the newly incorporated town of Quincy, Massachusetts. He would go on to live there the rest of his life, and died on July 4, 1826. Adams wouldn't have gotten this far had George Washington not made the decision to retire. Washington was a war hero and so popular among all the people. However, Washington decided to retire, and Adams would have a chance at presidency. Adams seemed like the choice for the Federalist Party because he already had the achievement of vice president, had the support of New England, and had some strength in the South. He succeeded and became president in 1796. John Adams' fourth annual speech to Congress was used to address many important topics. First of all, he talked about Washington, D.C., and how important he felt it was that they believed that this is best for the nation. The capital had to be moved south because of the ongoing tension between the North and the South. The North and South disagreed upon many things, including Hamilton's financial plan. The South hated Hamilton's financial plan because many of the states had paid off their debt and didn't want to have to pay any more. To compromise, Hamilton, Jefferson, and Madison met at what is called the dinner table bargain. Here, Jefferson agreed that the South cooperate with Hamilton's financial plan as long as the capital was moved farther south. The agreement pleased both sides, and it was agreed that the capital would be moved to Washington, D.C. Adams was satisfied with the deal and delighted that the capital was moved, believing it would one day become a capital of great virtue. Adams also spoke of his great success with the military. At the time, Adams was able to discharge the officers and soldiers, and they were able to live lives as normal citizens. Before that, the quasi-war was fought. Adams said, "I will never send another minister to France without assurances that he will be received, respected, and honored as the representative of a great, free, powerful, and independent nation." The tensions between the nations only grew from there, and then the war began. Adams was able to build the Navy by capturing 85 French privateers, and was also able to avoid other wars. His successes with foreign affairs allowed him to have soldiers leave duty. Adams was able to avoid rebellion and stop problems from boiling over the United States, showing his success. Adams also was able to ratify the Treaty of Amity and Commerce between the United States and Prussia. This was a success for the United States because it gave them more recognition as a nation. Once Prussia agreed to this treaty, it was only a matter of time before other nations also started showing respect to the new nation. It gave the United States a reliable trading source and was important for their foreign relations. Adams went on to discuss the importance of building up America's Army and Navy. While not at war at the time, the bumpy relations the United States had with Great Britain and France led Adams to worry. Adams knew that there could be another war between any of these nations and wanted to make sure that the nation was prepared when and if that time came. With already having to deal with past wars, Adams knew there needed to be a strong military ready for any conflicts that may come up with European nations. He also discussed how much their financial situation had improved. He credited this mostly to Alexander Hamilton's plan. Under this plan, national banks were established and the nation was able to pay off debts. The plan showed the United States could pay back its debts, making many foreign nations willing to trade with them. He also made national banks that allowed them to hold taxes and have more financial stability. Alexander Hamilton offered a remarkably modern economic vision based on investment, industry, and expanded commerce. His plan would change the United States economy, make it a more industrial and powerful nation. During Adams' political career, him and Thomas Jefferson became rivals. Adams was a Federalist and Jefferson a Democrat-Republican, which led them to disagree on many topics. Their hatred for each other grew so strong that they didn't talk to each other for 12 years. However, after Jefferson retired from politics in 1809, the two rekindled their relationships and became friends again. They would stay friends until they both ironically died on the same day. Interestingly enough, this day would also be on July 4th, 1826, and both men were very important in gaining America's independence on that day. He also wanted to inspire Congress to see the way he did and pass laws to support his causes in the future. Being a Federalist, Adams wanted to build up the national army and navy and give as much power as possible to the national government. Moreover, he wanted to share that view with the Congress and hoped they would take action and agree with him. He wanted to send a message to the people and tell them he should be revoted. Adams lists what he has done right so they are impressed and also says what he can prove so they know he is still trying to make the country better. He knew it was his last year and wanted to try to ensure he would have another 4 years as president. Overall, Adams is very positive in the document. He is pleased with their economic situation, the move to a new capital, and where they had gotten to. Adams voiced his pleasure with how far the nation had come and also wanted to send the message that they can still do better. He wanted to show the people that the federal system was working, that they should be willing to put faith in it. To conclude, Adams' speech was one that got his message across and was a strong speech to Congress.